Welcome to the United Nations International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals and to our virtual courtroom tour. During this tour, you will learn more about the mechanism and in particular the solemn and unique spaces where judges, prosecutors, defense counsel, witnesses and the accused take part in complex criminal proceedings. The mechanism is a successor institution to two United Nations tribunals, the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, the ICTY, and the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, the ICTR. Following the closure of the ICTY and ICTR, the mechanism became responsible for carrying out their essential residual functions. These include completing the remaining judicial work as well as other long-term functions such as witness protection and managing the archives. The mechanism has two branches, one in The Hague, the Netherlands, and one in Arusha, Tanzania, and two courtrooms, one at each location. In The Hague, the mechanism is using a former ICTY courtroom, while in Arusha, a state-of-the-art courtroom was purpose-built for the mechanism. Both courtrooms share a particular layout, which was chosen by the tribunal's judges in the 1990s. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they have recently been adapted to allow for the safe continuation of proceedings. On the left, in the very last row, are the seats for the accused person or persons. Defense counsel sit in front of the accused so that they can easily communicate with their client as needed during the proceedings. Sometimes several individuals are tried as part of the same case. For this reason, both courtrooms can accommodate up to 6 accused and defense teams. On the opposite side on the right are the seats for staff of the Office of the Prosecutor. During a trial, the prosecutor is usually represented by a senior trial attorney who is in charge of the case and is supported by trial attorneys and a case manager. A court reporter records the proceedings and prepares the verbatim transcript. In The Hague, he or she sits behind the representatives of the prosecutor and in Arusha in front of the representatives of the registry and chambers. Thanks to modern technology, real-time transcripts are available to everyone in the courtroom, with text that scrolls down the screens as the words are spoken. Transcripts from public hearings are accessible through our Judicial Records database. In the middle, perhaps the most important seat in the courtroom is reserved for the witness. The witness sits facing the judges and between the parties to the proceedings. To date, a total of some 7,000 witnesses have testified before the ICTY, the ICTR, and now the mechanism. Many of them were victims who provided eyewitness testimony about the events they lived through. Opposite the witness is the bench where the judges sit. At the mechanism, first instant trial proceedings are heard by a single judge or alternatively a bench of 3 judges, while during the appeal stage the bench is composed of either 3 or 5 appeal judges. In the row in front of the judges sit representatives of the registry and chambers. From left to right they include the court usher, who calls the case, assists the witness and distributes materials to the parties, the court officer, who is the administrative manager of the courtroom, and the legal officers from chambers who assist the judges. Behind the witness and separated by glass windows is a public gallery where interested members of the public may sit and follow the proceedings in open session. You can also see booths for the interpreters behind the window in the courtroom. Whenever someone speaks into one of the microphones in court, whether it be a judge, the parties, a witness or a court official, their words are interpreted simultaneously into English and/or French, the official languages of the mechanism, as well as into the language of the accused and the witness. Commonly, this is Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian in The Hague, and Kinyarwanda in Arusha. The courtroom also acts as a TV studio. Court hearings are filmed and an audio-visual director who sits in a booth next to the courtroom controls a number of cameras that are strategically placed in the ceiling. Not only does the video create an important record of what occurs in the courtroom, it also allows members of the public to watch our hearings and stay informed. Indeed, all public hearings are broadcast via the mechanism's website, and footage from the proceedings is disseminated to the press. However, not everything that takes place in court can be made public. Measures are in place to ensure that confidential information is protected and that witnesses are safe to provide their testimony. For example, public court proceedings are broadcast with a half-hour delay. This gives the audio-visual director time to redact any confidential information before it is made available on the internet. If there is a real likelihood of danger or risk to a witness if they testify in public, the judges may grant them protective measures. A witness might be given a pseudonym to use instead of their name, or may be shielded behind a protective screen so that they cannot be seen from the public gallery, or they may have their faces pixelated and their voices distorted so that you, the public, can hear their testimonies but not be able to identify them. Where highly sensitive or confidential matters are being discussed, the proceedings may take place in a private session or a closed session. In these cases, there will be no public record of the hearing, though a confidential record is always kept. This is the end of the courtroom tour. Thank you for joining us. If you found this interesting, we invite you to read more about the mechanism's ongoing cases and how to follow our hearings at irmct.org.